Elias Carter's hands were precise, his every movement choreographed like a sacred ritual. The hiss of steamed milk, the delicate tamp of freshly ground espresso, the reverent click of the portafilter into the machine. It was more than a job. It was a calling. The narrow cafe, Third Crack, nestled on a quiet street in the heart of the city, pulsed with a comforting rhythm. The aroma of beans from 6 continents, the clink of ceramic against marble, the hum of quiet conversations. Elias moved within it like a monk in a temple, attuned to every detail. He could name the farm a bean came from by smell alone. He once sniffed out a defective roast from a single bad note, charcoal hiding beneath caramel. He took pride in his predictability. Open at 6 a.m. sharp. The morning rush timed to the second. A shot pulled in 27.3 seconds. Life was simple, clean, until she came. The door chimed at an odd hour, 3:17 p.m., when the cafe was usually quiet. The woman who entered wore layers like sediment, thick scarves despite the summer heat, gloves with fraying seams, a shawl that reeked faintly of moss and midnight rain. Her eyes were gray and foggy like a forest before a storm. She ordered nothing, but she watched him with sharp curiosity, as if measuring the distance between who he was and who he might become. Before leaving, she placed a small, unmarked bag on the counter. "The gift," she said in a voice like crushed leaves, "for a true connoisseur." Elias barely registered her leaving. His gaze locked on the bag. He lifted it to his nose. Earth, smoke, a whisper of petrichor. No label, no origin. And yet, he felt an inexplicable pull, like remembering a dream you never had. He roasted the beans that evening, heart pounding in a way caffeine couldn't explain. The scent bloomed through the cafe like something alive. He brewed a single shot, watching the crema bloom into a rich, dark swirl. The first sip struck like lightning. A roar surged beneath his ribs. His blood felt carbonated. Colors brightened. The faint hum of the refrigerator sounded symphonic. The espresso was perfect. Too perfect. It wasn't just a taste, it was an awakening. That night, Elias couldn't sleep. His limbs twitched with unfamiliar energy. He swore he heard distant howling in the city's silence. Over the next days, he found himself reaching for that mysterious bag again and again. The beans never seemed to run out. With each cup, he felt more. His hearing sharpened. Conversations in the cafe, once ambient, now came with layered tones, subtext in their laughter, dominance in their silences. He began to sense dynamics, packs. He chalked it up to over-caffeination. Until he woke one morning with his fingernails digging into the wood of his bedpost, his teeth sore as if from gnawing. A sliver of moonlight sliced through the blinds and his skin rippled beneath it. He saw his reflection and didn't recognize the eyes. They glowed. At first, Elias hid it. He wore gloves, kept silverware minimal in the shop, just in case. Silver had begun to sting. A regular joked about it. Elias didn't laugh. He heard whispers from patrons that didn't match their lips. His sense of smell had become unbearable. He could tell who'd been crying, who'd eaten garlic 2 days ago, who was in heat. It wasn't normal, but it was intoxicating. He began researching late at night, sifting through obscure forums, mythological texts, and fringe science articles. It wasn't until he found a buried thread titled Howl-Verse, the lost town of the changed, that things began to click. A map was attached, blurred and cryptic, pointing toward deep forest country no GPS dared acknowledge. That was when the dreams began, running through pine-dense forests, wild with purpose, a voice calling him. A place, hidden, waiting. Howl-Verse. He left Third Crack without locking the door. The road to Howl-Verse wasn't on any map, but his instincts knew it, as if his bones remembered. The car struggled on uneven gravel before giving up entirely. He walked the rest of the way, drawn by scent and sound, as if the trees themselves whispered directions. The town was cloaked, not invisible, but misaligned with the rest of the world. As he stepped past the tree line, the temperature shifted. Air grew denser, laced with pine and primal energy. Howl-Verse was beautiful in a feral way. Buildings shaped from trees, smoke curling from moss-covered chimneys. The residents eyed him not with suspicion, but knowing. Like wolves assessing a new packmate, he was home. The elder woman waited in a clearing at dusk. "You came," she said. "What did you do to me?" Elias asked, voice trembling between rage and awe. "I awakened you," she replied. "The beans were just the catalyst. You already had the blood. I simply steeped it." He stared at her, realization settling like snowfall. "You're a werewolf." Elder wolf, she corrected, teeth glinting. And now, so are you. A new breed. One with a nose for truth and flavor. He laughed, a raw, feral sound. This is insane. This is destiny. Transformation wasn't pain, it was surrender. During the next full moon, Elias felt it all. The crack of spine reconfiguring, the itch of fur blooming through pores, the stretch of limbs into something larger, swifter, wilder. But along with it came clarity. His senses aligned like gears in a clock. He could hear the sap in trees, he could smell the sadness in wind. He tasted the world. His first hunt wasn't for blood, it was for beans. Howl-Verse, he discovered, was a haven not just for werewolves, but for a special kind of coffee, ancient strains long extinct in the human world, grown in soil rich with old magic, pollinated by spectral bees. He learned from the best, wolves with palates sharper than steel. They taught him to roast with claw-controlled flames, to grind beans by scent, not sight. He rediscovered his purpose, refined, wild, complete. Until trouble followed him into paradise. The conglomerate came quietly, with briefcases and fake smiles. Helix Roasters, a human-run behemoth, had been sniffing around rare beans. They had no idea they were poaching from a sanctuary. But Elias knew. His newly awakened senses caught the lie in their breath. One night, he intercepted them, hidden in the shadows of the sacred grove. They were stealing saplings, snapping twigs under polished shoes. Rage surged, not just territorial but spiritual. He let the wolf rise. In seconds, he was on them. No violence, only intimidation. Fur bristling, golden eyes glaring, growl rumbling like distant thunder. They dropped the beans and fled, babbling about demon dogs. In truth, he was a guardian. The pack celebrated with a howl so deep it shook the soil. A year later, the Howling Bean opened its doors. The sign bore a paw print and a coffee cup. The interior mixed rustic and wild. Stone counters, driftwood shelves, walls lined with hanging herbs and dream catchers. The scent inside? Earthy, electric, alive. Elias stood behind the counter, claws trimmed, apron clean. His fur, a shade between espresso and night, always carried the warm, comforting scent of fresh roast. It was part of his charm. Customers came from other towns. Some, unknowingly sensitive to magic, cried upon tasting his espresso. Others left gifts, poems, art. He brewed not just drinks but experiences. Liquid revelations. He trained apprentices, humans with intuition, changelings with hidden gifts. He taught them not just the craft, but the philosophy. Coffee is connection. Flavor is memory. Scent is story. Sometimes, late at night, Elias sat outside the shop, sipping a cup under the moonlight. He thought about the old life, predictable, sterile, safe, and he thanked the elder for the gift, for the curse that wasn't, for showing him that passion, when followed, doesn't just change your life, it unearths the life waiting beneath it. He howled then, not out of loneliness, but joy. The forest answered, and the world in all its wild wonder listened.